Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSGO Clutch Podcast, sponsored by Prize Picks. My name is Adam Cohn. I am your host, joined as always by my co-host Dan Welch. Dan, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, not too much, Adam. Just sitting here in my basement,
That
on a
sounds
podcast with you.
lovely. That's the way you said that made it seem like you were vanquished to the basement.
Well, without getting too much into my personal life, Adam, I
I'm gonna
am.
stop you right there. Let's not even
Yes.
go down that road. I don't want to know why you're sitting in the basement recording this podcast. I'm more interested why you're not on the roof recording this podcast, telling us what the weather is like where you are. But that's besides the
Oh,
point. You want to know what the weather's like in Counter-Strike? It's perfect. It don't rain. It don't rain!
it's
Anyway,
not raining.
it is not raining.
It's not raining money, but
It is
I
raining
would
money for
say,
somebody, Dan. Good unintended segue. Good unintended
um,
segue, sir. It's raining money for somebody. It's raining money
oh,
for Nate Doggy Dog 32. What a name!
yeah.
Nate
Well, at
Doggy
least he
Dog
split it.
32. All right, folks. As always, we're going to go over the winning lineup from the previous show. Previous show? I'm tired, folks. Previous show. Previous slate. Oh. Anyway,
It's okay. You
don't
do it all
mind
the
me.
time, and just move
Oh,
on.
here we go. Oh, my apologies. It was a tie for first place. I thought
Yeah.
it was a first and two ties for third. My apologies. So Nate Doggy Dog and Jay Barrett 16, both tied for first place. Both had the same lineup, splitting that $10,000 to first place. It was a 2-2-2 that took it down, Dan. And I know you and I spent some time on this on the other podcast. We,
Dude, you know how close we were to this lineup? It's like, damn. Like even you were probably more so than I was, but
I don't
like,
think we were on Mantu enough.
no.
And I'll tell you this, after, if we just go back here, and, I'll go back to the results here on HLTV. So if you didn't get a chance to watch any Counter-Strike today, the IM Summer Close Qualifier actually had 6 matches go on today. 4 were on Draftkings, and 2 of them were semifinal, was a semifinal matchup. There was a lower bracket one. I'm sorry, stage 2. I'm all over the place with this. So OG went on to face FaZe. OG went on to just spank FaZe. I don't understand how. This is FaZe's first competitive matchup in what feels like a month, or at least official match. OG beats them on Nuke, their pick, 16 to 13. Excuse me, and we know how good OG are on Mirage. OG won 16 to 8. Mantu
Yeah, I
not
think.
only did good in the first game against Trident. I mean, we all expected OG to stomp Trident.
Yeah.
We're not giving Mantu enough credit. He's playing on a different level right now. Against FaZe, okay, so tier 1 opponent. 41 and 27. He was plus 14. I think we need to start giving Mantu a little bit more credit.
Well, don't sell yourself too short. You used to be like a huge Mantu fan, or I would imagine you still are. There's some,
I am.
yeah. I mean, he's the kind of the newer, younger guy, right? I mean, people might not know that. Or Valde's more experienced. I mean, Alexi B
Valde's
is
more
obviously more
experienced.
experienced.
Valde used to be on North once upon a time, I believe. I think Valde used to play
Sounds right.
with Nico once upon a time. But
Oh yeah.
Mantu in the old OG, we knew we had the talent. We knew we had the ceiling. It
Mhm.
was just like, which game were you going to get it out of him?
Wasn't very often.
No. And so, I decided to go Captain Alexi V. It got me all the expensive players that I wanted. And I went 2 OG, 2 Skade, 1 Movie Star Rider, 1 Mouseboy. I wanted to get some of the higher priced players. I liked my lineup construction. 2-2-1-1 was completely viable. I ended up going because I'm sitting there and I'm looking like, who do I stack my Alexi B captain with? He's gonna be unique. It's against Trident. Alexi B has had these ceiling games. So at least my logic process was correct.
Yeah.
And he didn't do bad. He still scored over 100 DraftKings points. Took him to like the final 3 rounds of the game to have a 3K and a 4K to rack up the frags. Otherwise, whatever. And I still didn't cash. Thanks, Denny Slaw. Thanks, Rainwaker. No thanks to Samuya. Excuse me. But I think it's time we start putting Mantu on a different pedestal. If the Flames and Nico combo that have been incorporated in OG and they're playing a completely different style, I think it's time, Dan, that we need to consider him on every single slate. Not that we shouldn't be already, but we can't consider him a middle-of-the-road opera anymore. If the rest of the lineup is going to free him up to do these kind of stat lines, all right, so let me just go over this, and I probably just spend a little bit of time on Mantu here, but he was the key to this slate. He was under-owned. 18.5% in the captain spot, Dan. 61.7% owned in the flex. All right. 40 and 18. 40 kills, 18 deaths. Versus FaZe. So that was versus Trident. Versus FaZe, he was 41 and 27. If he's going to be freed up to do this now, watch out. We're looking at a top 10 hopper. Not that I mean, you could make the case of top 10. You could easily make that case. But he's in that conversation now if he wasn't before. I mean, like, this just... I mean, obviously getting fragged a little bit more against a tier 1 team, you kind of expect it. You kind of expect these games to stay a little bit closer. So, like, these stat lines, and the reason we were on OG, Valdez stat line, 42, 7, and 20. Okay, Mantu's was 48 and 18. We expected the tier 1 team and how good OG looked in that other event. We expected them to come out and show something, and they did. But that's besides the point. You needed OG. Mouse Sports. Dan, you and I said it. You needed Mouse Sports. You wanted to play Mouse Sports. Rops didn't do amazing. For
No.
a $9,200 price tag, he didn't crush. You know who did crush? And I'm kicking myself because you and I talked about a lineup construction I had on the pre-show that included A-Core, and my final lineup construction didn't include A-Core.
Same here.
And I'm just like, I was so set on getting 2 Skade, and I wanted to fit in Smooya. Didn't work out. But that's okay, as I still know at some point the process was right. Alright, so A-Core went 39, 12, and 22. 83 DraftKings points. He went bonkers. And he had 13 first kills. He had a lot of bonuses that helped rack him up to that 83. And at 7,600 for 83 DraftKings points, that's a fantastic score.
Yeah.
Here's where he was the key to the slate. And Dan, you and I spent what felt like 20 minutes on this yesterday. And that was probably less than that. But we spent a good amount of time on this slate. And we said Skade versus FPX was the key to the slate. You needed FPX.
There you go.
Zen went bonkers on map 1. Stico went bonkers on map 3.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Or was it map 2? I lost count. They
That
went
was
3,
map
right?
3. I don't. Dude,
Right.
he got like 30 kills in like 3 rounds. Or no, he can't do that. Like, it was very quickly that he
got to 30 frags very quick.
Up. Yeah, but it was in a short. It was in like
it was
5
Inferno.
or 6 rounds.
It was Inferno. It was map 2, I think, or something. But
no, it was map 3 train.
Train, that was it. And
yeah.
he started coming on in Inferno on map 2. And we need to take this into account. If you look at the map choices for that game, you give the nod to Skade. 100%. Good on Mirage. FPX rarely ever play it. 16 to 14 scoreline. They went on to Inferno. Skade had a phenomenal win rate on Inferno. FPX crushed them. Inferno, they picked FPX. They have gotten better at that map. It shows. So Zen went bonkers. Stico ended up going bonkers. I ended up coming in like 3rd place in the late slate in like the $1. I ended up
Nice.
I captained Stico. I'm like, you know what? Of anyone in
Wow.
FPX, I'm like, Stico's going to go completely overlooked. He's cheap. I can get all the other guys that I want, and I came in third. Because I decided to go with the strategy of everyone's going to want to shove in these other guys. I don't think I had Zen in that lineup, or maybe I did. I didn't have. Oh, I had Farley in that lineup instead of Madden. Whoops.
Yeah.
Is what it is. But like, I decided to go with that strategy, and Stico ended up paying off on the main slate. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's not really much to break down here. 222 won it, and after what we saw from Movie Star Riders, and we'll get into them when we break down the slate, is Alex looked like he was optimal until these games finished.
I know.
Alex was
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
plus
Good
20
point.
something. Or he was close to plus 20, and he wasn't on this lineup. Granted,
Because
he
of
probably
Stico.
wasn't high owned, but you can see this is what typical correlation looks like. We don't have these weird two games, weirdly uncorrelated stuff on a normal, decent sized slate. Correlation matters. And that's why Dan and I have been preaching it for weeks now. Correlation matters.
Hmm.
This ain't a one off captain. This is correlation that matters. And Jay Barrett, 16, also took down solo third place, and Nate Doggy Dog took down solo fourth place. So, I mean, you love to see it. So, shout out to them. Congratulations. That's a good chunk of change. Dan, you ready to get into the slate?
Let's do it.
Is there anything else you wanted to say? Because I apologize. I completely cut you off earlier.
Yeah, I'm used to it. You do it all the time. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's okay. I apologize.
Oh, before you cut me off again, my, one of my there was a really good observation in the main event Discord, and I'm going to look that up because I can't remember what it was. But I do want to say that Farlig is massively disappointing,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
think there might be a reason for that. And I'm just gonna. This is my theory. That the other guys, when he joined this team, because he was previously the star opera on Copenhagen Flames, where they
Yes,
gave
he
him a lot of
was.
freedom. So, and I think I've said this before, but I think the other guys want the limelight, and it's almost like he's a support player with an op. But that's again, I have no data to back that up, just my own gut opinion. So I'm probably going to stay away from Farlig. I'm being, and he's probably going to go off tomorrow. So. And carry on while I look up the observation in.
Oh, am I allowed
Oh,
to
okay.
speak now?
I just remembered what it was. So Mister Interpret said that Skade is a really good team, which makes if they were to win, which makes for a good three stack. Which I thought was interesting. But I mean that's not too crazy an observation, but. So stack the good teams, play the the individuals that really can stand out. Is kind of what he was getting at.
Can I talk now?
Of course, you're the star of the show. I'm like the backup singer.
I don't want to interrupt you
I
again.
wants to be the star.
I will I will speak when spoken to. I'm
Okay,
kidding. Um
Adam, carry on.
well, damn, let's continue this conversation because the first game here on this four-game slate for the IEM Summer 2021 closed qualifier is FPX versus Big. FPX, go over here, Pinnacle. FPX come in at a plus 161 underdog. Big or minus 198 favorite.
Okay.
What are we doing with this game?
By we, do you mean me?
Well, all of us. What are we doing? Tell us who we're playing to win the money.
I mean, I gotta, I gotta go with FPX again. I mean,
I think that's the right call.
yeah. And I don't think it's because it's not necessary. I really do think they can win, and I mean clearly they're going to be overrun. I think overrun. under-owned, even though Big just won FunSpark and
What a reverse
I mean,
sweep.
yeah, whatever I'm trying to say. I think that FPX will still be under-owned, and they have a good chance to win. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
They are the most unentertaining or unsexy team on this slate.
That's a great way to just summarize what I tried to just say.
Even movie star riders, people are gonna want the glitz and glamour of playing a Samuya
Smoothie.
or chasing after Alex or playing Mopaz or doing whatever. And we'll get to movie star riders later on in the podcast, but I think FPX, it's not chasing. It's not. Big coming off a high. Now look, Big reversed sweeped Extra Salt. I watched parts of that game. Extra Salt gave them a fight, but Big just asserted their dominance over them. Extra Salt aren't there yet. They're getting close. We know Big can disappear. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go over the pricing. Santaris is 9,600.
Really? Oh God.
Searson's 8,600. He's the opera for Big. Tabson, the IGL for Big, is 7,200. Keto is 6,400, and Tizian, who we will not play, is 5,600. Overpriced Xantaris. Underpriced Searson. Underpriced Tabson. I expect Big to come in as chalk on this slate. I think FPX can absolutely upset Big. And I think for large field GPPs, this is the best spot on the slate that's not movie star riders, and we'll get there because I think that's a trap. I think FPX is the best leverage. They are the best large field GPP spot. Thank God this isn't the showdown game because, like our friend Nathan says, play whoever and cry.
No, this is not.
Basically, play the bad team and cry. That was the theme of FunSpark. Play the terrible team against the better team and cry. And then basically just win money. I will not tilt about FunSpark. 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 Okay.
Did you write it down on your chalkboard, Adam?
No.
I mean, Bart.
I like FPX in this slate a lot. I really do. Maybe that's
Who do you
just
like?
maybe that's just the GPP guy in me, but I really like FPX on this slate. Everyone except for Emmy are in play.
Okay. Zen is super cheap, and that's awesome.
Why is Zen $5,400?
He had a bad string of matches. Yeah, he really did. He
Bad
kind
string
of.
my rear end.
Oh, that's got to be why.
5,400. He's cheaper than Stico.
There's a lag to their algorithm with the pricing where it picks up like I don't know, like
I don't
three
get it.
matches prior or
Anyway,
something.
I'll tell you my
And
favorite.
he's not that bad either. I mean, for 4,400, if they sweep 4,400, could be enough to.
FPX is
You know,
not going to sweep. If they win, it's going to be a very tough fought 2-1.
actually, yeah, I think I
It's
have to
going to be a
agree with you on
very
that.
tough fought 2-1.
I think the maps pool actually favors Big a little bit.
Big can play overpass for what it's worth. And we know
Okay.
FPX like overpass. Or at least they used to.
Yeah,
Big
no, I
Big beat Extra
yeah,
Salt on
definitely.
overpass. Extra Salt's pick to complete the reverse sweep of Extra Salt. Just saying.
Huh. Oh, good. That's good info.
And they were starting to embarrass Extra Salt towards the end of that game on overpass.
So, just real quick, because I think this is an important game, but
I,
I think
I agree. Again, like this and the OG movie star riders, I think, are keys to the slate. And I don't want that to be a theme on the podcasts, but on a 4-gamer, we're looking at some of the most ultimate leverage with FPX and movie star riders.
mm-hmm. Anyway, so I think that FPX normally so when they were the Godsent roster, they used to ban Dust 2 and Mirage,
Mm-hmm.
which are two of Big's favorite maps. So, and I'm pretty sure they're going to ban Dust 2.
That would be the
And
smartest
then
move.
yeah, and then because of probably recent history, that Big will ban Inferno, and that doesn't necessarily take away very much from FPX. So Big will go with Mirage, probably win. I'm pretty sure FPX will pick Train, and as we know, Big used to ban Train, and I mean, they're gonna get stomped because we know FPX is good on Train.
Yeah,
Then I'm just not.
you're not playing Train against FPX, and if you do,
No,
then this could be interesting. Anyway, sorry to
yeah.
spend so much time on that game, but I definitely think it's one of the more
Wait,
important
wait,
games here on the slate.
Adam,
What?
I wasn't done.
Fine, I'll go take a nap. I'm kidding.
All right, everybody, we're gonna.
All right, so what else do you want to talk about this game?
I was just gonna say I think that Nuke will be a decider. Um,
Ooh, I can see that.
and FPX has a really good T side nuke, so it won't matter
Ah,
where they
T-side
end up.
nuke.
And so what I'm saying is, even if they lose the knife round and have to play and then go on T side, I think they'll still win. But I'm done. That was it. So FPX all the way,
Yeah, I
all day.
think all of FPX are in play for large field GPPs.
I mean, even yeah, Emmy, I know. Like
Emmy's
even if it is,
4,400. All Emmy needs
so
is like
cheap.
50 points.
And the announcers were pretty high on him too. I mean, if and I take their opinion pretty seriously, and they liked his form quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Madden's my favorite from FPX for me. Stico 2, Farley 3, Zen 3, Farley 4. I have no confidence in Farley right now.
No, me neither.
I have no confidence in him.
He's like a support opera or something. I don't. It's hard to
That's
explain.
such a two words that should never go together.
I know.
Anyway, I, if you can get to again, this depends on your lineup construction. Madden's 8,400. If you can somehow get Madden, I think he's the best play from FPX. I don't know why, just a gut feeling. I think he's the best play from FPX on this slate tomorrow.
Dude, Madden's good.
He
He's really
is.
good.
Anyway, all right. Let's move on here to the next game. Mouse Sports versus the frauds that are G2. Oops, did I say that out loud? That was supposed to be
No,
in a thought bubble.
that was out loud.
Whoops. Mouse Sports versus G2 Esports. Hunter is finally getting the respect he deserves. Hunter is $9,000.
Wow.
He is no longer a free square.
Right?
Dan, what are you doing with Mouse Sports versus G2?
All mouse sports all day, all the
Yep,
way.
I agree with you. And this is something you and I were talking about pre-show, and you and I just kind of had like one of those moments of like, why are Mouse Sports the bleeping underdog? They have more talent on paper than G2 does. No offense, G2.
And one other thing that we broached was this idea that having, and I only was able to infer this based on the article I read about Device, where the meta or the current meta for an opper role is that they create space for the rest of the team, and obviously creating space means getting frags. But Nico, being a hybrid opper, doesn't really fit that meta, which then creates kind of puts them at a disadvantage when every other team is playing with a certain strategy that's that follows the meta. Um, and they haven't proved that what they're doing is like art. Like art is really good at breaking the meta and going off with his op like a shotgun, where Nico hasn't really found his impact like art might have. So um, that's why I'm going with mouse sports is because of this the overall strategy of D2 just is not good.
I wouldn't say G2 isn't good. We
Oh,
saw
they're
them.
good.
We saw them struggle.
They have Nico. I mean, they're definitely good. I'm just saying that their overall like something about the approach, their strategy, it just isn't there yet. The pieces they have.
I agree with that. I think they're still working out pieces.
Yeah. I'm happy they're the favorite though. I mean, that's fucking no brainer. Sorry, excuse my language.
It's okay. That's why this video is not intended for children under 18. Anyway, I think it's more that this team isn't complete. They're not complete. Um, there's still strategies and stuff to work out, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Quite frankly, I don't know how much longer they can go on with this hybrid role. Or to be perfectly honest with you, and this is my opinion. All right, how long is it going to take before Nico gets, part of my language, but pissed off? Having to play this hybrid opera-like role. On phase, he had to be the IGL, main carry, and main rifler. And he had to
Yeah.
carry that team. So I don't know what we're doing. I apologize if you guys can hear anything going on. There's a call at the house. So apologize if you can hear anything else in the background. But I think someone's on the phone. I have no idea. Anyway, mouse sports. We're playing all the mouse sports on this slate.
Yes.
We're
Conclusion.
hammering mouse sports on this slate. Let's not
Yes.
get this confused. We need to hammer mouse sports on this slate. Let's not get cute. This isn't this plus 300 underdog that we can take a chance on. This is bleeping mouse sports. All right? This is a team that has one of the best 1-2 punches in Robson Frozen in Tier 1 Counter-Strike. They got A-Core who's starting to finally come on. We know A-Core's talent level. Ty's boy B-Mass, who's a fantastic, excuse me, all-around, utility player for this team. He's not the main rifle fragger, but he's not always support, and he's there to help whenever you need it. Dexter. Look, shout out to Dexter. Shout out to Dexter. Because they should have stomped. I mean, I thought K20 they put more of a fight. But the fact that Mousesports stomped K23, I wasn't taking that for granted, Dan. I thought that was going 3. I thought that could have gone 3 maps. I thought K23 could have given them fits. Dexter must have called a really good game. I was more interested in Skate versus FPX, to be honest, so I didn't see much of the other game. And anytime I wanted to turn over, it seemed like Mouse had already won a map. Um, but I think that was kind of a statement from Dexter as the IGL for this team. Really, really stepped it up. They've had time off, so clearly they figured out something. The question is, what did they figure out? Now they're going up against G2. Let's see it again on this slate before I can just say, hey, Mouse Sports
Please.
really figured it out. But,
Please do it again.
yeah, but I'm sorry. I need to give the benefit of the doubt to Mouse Sports. They have the better talent on paper. Again, you're not going to go up against the third or fourth best in the world in Nico. And then you have Hunter, who is top 20 right now. That's it. You have Rops top 20, Frozen top 20, Acor top 20, or top 30. B-Mass is in the top 50. And I don't know what to make of Dexter. On paper, this team is stacked. They got a fantastic 1-2 punch, an opera that can kick your butt, and an all-around support player or rifler or whatever. And it's absolutely fantastic. We're hammering Mouse Sports home on the slate. Dan?
I can't agree more. Sorry, I'm just picking my lineup for tomorrow.
I talk and Dan builds his lineup. This is the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I
Dan's
also
base
just
basically what Dan is saying. When Adam talks, I get to build the lineup.
I found out I
And
cashed
you
in
said
NBA.
yes to that.
No, I just found out that I cashed in the NBA.
Hey!
$55.
Congratulations. How much?
55.
Hey! Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on.
I'll be
Anything
putting that.
else you want to talk about with Mouse Sports G2?
No, just Rop's 8-core and Frozen. Boom.
I would agree with that. Again, large field GPP.
Bemis is
BMAS.
really cheap.
BMAS 5800. He's in play.
Yeah.
I'm not playing Dexter quite yet. Was very impressed to see what he could do against a tier 2 team. Let's see what he does against G2. If you're playing G2, it's Hunter 1, Nico 2, Almanac 3, Jax 4, Nexa 5. Anything else?
No, good. I'm good.
All right, I'm going to make this next game very quick. FaZe versus Furia.
Oh.
You ready for this, Dan? Are you
Yeah.
ready?
I'm actually not sure, but yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go.
Fade it?
Fade.
Yeah.
Is that bad to say? I feel like that's bad to say.
It's a dumpster fire. I mean, it's just, well, not that, I mean, it just feels like a dumpster fire. But I mean,
These teams look terrible.
yeah. Oh my God, dude. Like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened in those games.
Yeah. Hmm. It hurts my stomach just thinking about it. Just trying to play these guys.
Anyway. I mean,
What?
folks,
You don't like my analysis?
I apologize. I have no idea what else to say. I have no idea what else to say. I don't know what to do with this game. I have absolutely no clue what to do with this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. FaZe Clan versus Furia. I want to fade, but we have to give you the analysis. I'd pick FaZe over Furia if you're playing anyone from this game.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because Junior's so, I don't know what's going on there.
This game is such a stay away from me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make the argument that because, I mean, if you do go with FaZe, that, and anyone else has the same issue that we just did, that some of the FaZe guys might be good one-offs.
FaZe is finally sub 9,000. I think I kept saying Twitch was 9,000, 9,000, 9,000, 92, 9,000. Just seems like Twitch is friendly 9,000 plus. Finally, $8,000 somewhere tolerable you can play him. Brokey's too cheap at 7,000. I'm sorry.
That
Brokey's
is
too cheap at 7,000.
pretty cheap.
I can't believe I'm going to say this about Cold Zera. And I apologize I'm saying this about a legend.
Yeah, you can't. I know what you're gonna say. It's fine.
I mean, does he look washed?
Yeah, he does.
And I'm
I
not
mean,
saying like washed as a player, because we see what guys like Forrest and Freiberg and all this other stuff, right? All of this other stuff.
FaZe is like a Florida retirement home.
I apologize, everybody. I'm just distracted. There was phone calls or there was something going on. So I apologize. Don't worry about anything that happens in the background.
Oh, so you missed my joke? That FaZe is just a Florida.
Oh, I heard the
Like
retirement
state of
home thing, but like that's not the point. What I mean is like, can Cold Zero revitalize his career with Kerrigan back in this roster?
Maybe. Does he
Because
want to though? I doubt it.
Cold Zero has been, no pun intended, cold over the last year.
Oh, come on. You did it. Why did you do that?
I had to. Ever
So
since like the end of last summer, Cold Zero has been on like this underperforming streak. He was someone when Counter-Strike DFS first started on DraftKings, we were hammering playing.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what happened. I really don't want to keep talking about this game. I have no idea what to do with this game. It's such a trap. This game's gonna be like 2-1 Face Clan in like messy Counter Strike. If today's two games were any indication. All right, so we're gonna get into Movie Star Riders in a second. Furia got their butts kicked by Movie Star Riders.
Yeah.
And I mean
Not.
butts kicked. Fury was a top 10 team, and they just got their butts kicked.
I think it says more about movie star writers than it does about Furia, though.
I
Just
think
my
that says
opinion.
a lot about Furia.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it does. It does. I agree. But
All right,
um,
I'm not gonna harper and hammer this point home. And again, I apologize to everyone out there if it sounds like Dan and I are starting to talk about this game. It's because we really don't want to talk about this game because this game is such a trap, and
mhm.
it's such a fade. Um, you mentioned it. I'm not gonna stay on it long. Junior being on this team, the kid is a super talented opper. There's no denying that. He has been with this team for what now? 4 months? Realistically, you could say 3 months because he couldn't make Blast, I think, and Honda had to stand in for him in Blast. I think it was one of the events.
Sounds right.
I wonder if the communication thing is starting to come into play.
Did that you didn't? I wasn't paying total attention right there, but did you notice that Honda was kind of in the background, hanging out?
He was in the background hanging out. He's not
Um,
replacing Junior. My guess is he's probably like a stand-in, in waiting,
yeah,
or someone that they're just really mentoring this kid.
that's what Gary said in the interview. Is that he said he's kind of his project.
I mean, I don't
Maybe
know
it's
if
like Bucky.
I never want to call people a project. It just feels like a poor choice of words. I just think that they see something in Honda where they're like, okay, hang out in the background, listen to the communication, see how they play it, learn from it. That you can practice with these guys in scrims or pugs or whatever. And I think they're just helping him out as a player more than anything.
Okay, I like that.
So I need to move on from this game. I don't know what else to say. Um,
Yeah, come on. One more. We're
look,
good. Let's
look,
go.
look. Large field GPPs, you can do anything from these games. They're all viable. Dan and I just really are gonna outright fade this game.
Yep.
I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have a 2-2-2 stack most likely from the other three. I
Oh, they
want
keep ending up on.
nothing. I want nothing to do from FaZe Furia. Nothing. If you're playing anyone from FaZe, it's Twist and Brokey. Little bit of Cold Zera. If you're playing anyone from Furia, it's K Serato if you can afford them, and it's Yuri. Maybe a little Art, maybe a little Vinny. I can't play Junior right now.
No. Nope.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I
I got a
just
killer lineup.
I really wonder if communication is starting to come into play, or if they're just having a tough time integrating Junior into the roster. And again, integrating a new player takes a good deal of time. Like this isn't just snap your fingers because you're a professional and everything just pops into place. It's not how it works.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Anyway, all right. So let's get past that game. It seemed like painful to talk about.
It
Um,
was.
like we saying, Dan and I are fading FaZe Furia. I like FaZe over Furia. If you're MMEing, both teams are viable. Let's get into the last one. We've teased it all podcast. But before we get into the last game, I want to remind all of you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell next to it. That way, you all know every single time one of these podcasts drop. And leave a comment down below. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Tell us who you like on this slate, and a quick description why. We also want at this time to shout out our sponsor, Prize Picks. See what I'm doing, Dan? Professional
You,
tease. Make them wait for the last game. It's another one of these keys of the slate. Shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Use the promo code CLUTCH. That's promo code CLUTCH. And Prize Picks is going to match your deposit for new depositors only. New depositors get a 100% match of your deposit up to $100. You want to deposit $50? Prize Picks is going to match it. You want to deposit $99? Prize Picks will match it. Want to deposit $100? They're matching you $100. You want to deposit $1,000? Prize Picks says thank you. Your bankroll says thank you. Prize Picks is still only matching up to $100. But that's pretty huge, Dan. You don't see 100% deposit bonuses really anymore in the industry.
no, you don't. And usually they, or if they do, they pay it out over time,
Yep, you get it all up
not
front.
in one shot.
You get it all up front. You love to see it. And Prize Picks is a
Hmm.
great website to play on. Love
Hmm.
Prize Picks, great website to play on. We're going to have our Prize Picks segment coming up here at the end of the podcast. All right, Dan, we've teased it long enough. OG versus Movie Star Riders.
Big
Valdez
one.
once again $9,800, but Mantu has been priced way the F up. He is $9,200. I can't remember the last slate that Mantu was over $9,000.
It's been a while.
It's
I
been
don't
a
know.
while. That is going to
Hmm.
make people very much question it. Flamesy, 7,600. Nico, OG Nico. That's not going to get confusing on this slate. Um, is 6,800. And Alexi V is 5,800. Smooya for Movie Star Riders is 7,400. No Nathan, he's not $15,000.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know, but shout out to Nathan. He is like Smooya 15K. That was because of again, how absolutely nuts Smooya went off in that second game versus Furia.
Yeah. Oh, right. Hmm.
Movie Star Riders crushed Furia. Whether Furia underestimated Movie Star Riders or Movie Star Riders are just that much better. I feel like it's more the prior of Furia underestimating Movie Star Riders. But
Yeah.
Smooya went bonkers. Mopaz has been really good. He's 6,800. Alex, he who thought we all thought broke the slate today, is 6,000. Shocks and Steel are both sub 5,000. We're not playing either. You can play Shocks if you want in a large field MMA format, like you're playing 20 plus lineups. You want to get a little exposure to Shocks. I'm okay with that. Dan, this is the second key to the slate. It's a very important game. How are you approaching it?
I mean, I've already played around with a few lineups, and I can fit Mantu and Valde with almost everybody else that. Um, I mean, not everybody, but some guys from other teams, including Mouse Sports, that I would like to fit. So I am going to go Mantu Valde. Probably one of them.
And folks,
Maybe
just
even.
for clarification, that was the lineups he was building while ignoring me.
You are right.
And he admits it. The least you could have done to make me feel a little bit better was, oh, I don't know. No, I was absolutely listening to you. I wasn't totally doing the Draftkings lineups over here. No, he just comes out and says it. You know what, Dan? Whatever.
Um, you threw me off. So
Hang on, Dan. I'm gonna go over and start making a lineup. Go ahead.
yeah, good luck. So yes, I was ignoring you. Well, at least I muted my my mic.
Well, we
I mean,
thank you for that.
yeah, it's the
Go
thought
ahead.
that counts.
Go ahead. So you were saying you can fit Valde and Mantu easily. This I need to understand, so tell me this now. Because you're basically saying what? I have a $50,000 prize pool, you've got $31,000 left over, and you can comfortably make that fit?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, and put in ROPS too. Do ROPS and Acor.
Well, I'm not gonna outbuild this everybody, but so like let's just take these three.
Okay.
You have 22,200 left over. You must be captaining someone from FPX.
Well, I actually had Mantu in the captain.
You just
So,
love wasting DraftKings money, don't you?
well, I'm.
17,600 left over for 3 players.
So
I
then you
mean,
go.
how chalky is this going to be, though? If you just made this easy, let's talk about the flip side of this. Again, why I think this game is important.
Okay.
Mantu was super chalk today against Trident. Again, obviously for good reason.
Hmm?
What is he going to be against Movie Star Riders? Is he going to be right back to super chalk? Again, so like we can go back here to the winning lineup, and it was 18.5% owned for Mantu in the captain spot, and was still on the winning lineup. Like again, 4-game slate. FPX got you, different, but still, that's huge. And if you're telling me on this slate, which this was a little bit more tighter pricing, if you're telling me that you can get Mantu, Valde, and Rops like this with 17,600 left over and make these three fit comfortably and have a good looking lineup, what's the chalk gonna be like? Is Captain Mantu gonna be chalk or Captain Valde gonna be chalk?
Certainly hope not, just because of the pricing. But I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I mean, like I really wish I had like a projection model for ownership.
But
Might be
we
something I'd be
should not
working on.
we should not overthink this, Adam.
I mean, we shouldn't. I mean, this is OG should win this game. They have looked so good lately. They've been on fire. Ever since they brought Flamesy into this, they just look like a completely different team.
Yeah, and clearly his ping didn't matter. So.
No, I think his ping mattered. I think his ping mattered a lot. So
Oh yeah, he
Flamesy,
didn't. He had kind of a rough.
he had a rough first game against Trident.
That's right.
He had a rough first game against Trident. Now, he was 38 and 32 for +6, but does that speak to FaZe or does that speak to OJ? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, let's just take a look here. So if I go OG, we go to the match page. Flamesy was still +6, but just like the eye test, like if you were looking on the eye test on that, 27 and 21, he really wasn't a factor in that game. He just wasn't.
Yeah, I hear you.
But
So maybe here's what I'm thinking is maybe I build around Drops and Acor instead of Valdemantu.
well, no, I definitely think you have the right idea of building around Montu and Valde.
Hmm.
Until we see otherwise, that's who we go with.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
So I said FPX with the
Hmm.
biggest leverage on the slate, and I thought I said Movie Star Riders is a little bit of a trap. I'll explain what I mean.
Okay.
Movie Star Riders, I feel like haven't lost a map in games. Not only is that tough to do, they're going to be extremely confident going into this.
Oh
I
yeah.
am going off of just how OG look. They look dominant. Okay, like this is a completely different looking team. I can't compare them to Heroic or Gambit. I can't. From like how dominant they've looked, I can't compare them that way because right now they're on their own level in terms of just dominance. This team is playing such great Counter Strike. Alexi B has been calling phenomenal games. I think Movie Star Writers hit the wall with OG. People are going to want to go to this. So, Dan, OG come into this going to Pinnacle as a minus 232 favorite. They are the biggest favorite on the slate. Movie Star Riders is a plus 186. And I
Okay.
should mention, G2 is a minus 145 favorite against Mouse Sports. Mouse Sports a plus 118 underdog. Furia minus 128 favorite against FaZe. FaZe is a plus 106 underdog. I think this is a massive trap. In terms of DFS, people are going to go, oh, we're going to load up on Smooya. We're going to load up on Alex. They're going to go chase Alex. We're going to play some Mopaz. No. I think Movie Star Riders get crushed. Oh, look, I'm happy for what they've accomplished. And I hope
Yeah.
they make some noise in the lower bracket. OG look too good. They look too good. That's what I mean by trap. FPX has a legitimate shot of beating big. not just a 1 out of 10 times. They get a legitimate chance of beating big.
Yeah.
I think movie
So,
star riders, as good as they've looked, are about to hit the wall that is OG. That's what I mean by trap. Again, large field GPPs, if you have a better feel on movie star riders than me, go play them instead of OG in your lineups. I think you build around OG on this slate. Mouse Sports 2, pick from the other two games. That's what I think the strategy is for this.
yeah.
I feel super confident in OG and Mouse Sports.
Same.
Um,
I don't wanna make anybody think that
Now, I mean,
otherwise.
if we go back specifically to this game, we just clear everyone out. Smoothie is 7,400. That's a phenomenal price tag for him. Phenomenal. This guy should be in the $8,000 range, so he's underpriced. He's a value play. Still needs a lot of points to pay off that price tag. I don't think he gets it done against this team. Oh, he could. He's that good. But still, like I don't want to harp on this game too long. I think
Yeah, you know,
I think it's OG.
and I just want to say one thing because remember how we were discussing like the 10x approach. You know, like okay, so if I play Valda, then I need 98 points for him to pay off, right?
If well, again, right, again, taking into consideration what we should be looking for him, 10x at that level isn't what we want. We want more like 7, 8x. Like we want someone that's over $9,000 to score north
Well,
of 60 plus points. Ideally,
so
65 to 80, right?
I think that I just solved our little formula, and that you have to combine that with another player. So I'm looking at Valda and I say, okay, I'm going to play Valda, but I'm going to match him with Steele, who's at 4,000. So out of both of them combined, I want 130, 140 points.
Oh, you're saying to
I,
mix it match from like a run back?
no. That was an example of a low price guy that I just saw. So
No, so how about Alexi B?
Lexi B. Okay, so what would be the total if we were to do? So it's at 150. So I would want 150 points from Valda and Alexi B
I think that's
combined. So that
possible.
means Alexi B has to outperform his pricing, and Valda can underperform his pricing because I still, in the end, get the same 10x that I was shooting for.
That's a good way of looking at it. I
Thank you.
think Valde and Mantu crush.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel super confident in it. Um, but anyway, all right. We've teased. Let's get into it. Core value, GPP, team stack. Dan, give me one of each. I think you and I might be on some of the same guys.
Yeah, core Mantu.
My core is
Uh,
Valde.
okay. Value. I'm gonna go with Zen or Zane. I guess is how they say it. And
It seems like two
GPP.
completely different like pronunciations of it that I heard today during the game. Zane, whatever.
Yeah. It's the guy that starts with a Z.
Yeah,
And then GPP, I guess probably anybody from Face, because they could all potentially go off, you know. And
that's fair. FaZe is a
that's good.
great GPP team, and look, Dan and I are we want to fade that game.
I'm
That
gonna end up with somebody. I can see it already that I'm one of those.
I mean, it's possible. Again, that's just as of this podcast. We haven't made our final lineups yet. I haven't made a lineup at all. Um, so it'll be very interesting, but I would feel stronger in FaZe than I would Furia.
Yeah.
And that's just because I think this could be a big twist game. But he's 8,000, and I want to fit in so many high expensive pieces.
Oh, dude, I like that. I actually like twists just because of the North America connection. But
And that's
it's a
fair.
little bit of
I
a
mean, how many
narrative.
times did Team Liquid and Furia faced off against each other when he was on Team Liquid?
Oh my god. Maybe
Anyway, all right. Who's your favorite team stack?
OG.
Yeah. All right. My core, Valde. Value, Stico. GPP twists.
Yeah.
Just because the more I think about it, the more I may just want to one-off twists.
Right.
My favorite team stack is also OG, but I'll give you a second team stack. Mouse Sports.
Yeah.
It's time
Definitely.
for our Prize Picks segment, sponsored by Prize Picks. Dan, let's get into it. We have a ton of
Oh wow.
picks. Massive shout out to Prize Picks. You get, like we said, folks, you get everything. Prize Picks got you covered. It's more than this tier. Excuse me. More than just your tier one. More than just your tier two. You got Istical Boars over here on the slate. You get the Lingby Vikings.
Early too, so you can
Dan,
they pay out really quickly. So
Dan,
in case anybody
what
doesn't
are
know,
we
that's
doing? Where were you
a
going for Prize Picks? Give me your first. We'll do two each.
well, hold on, let me just finish. So you can play four guys at the 3 a.m. games and then get paid out before the 6 a.m. games. So you can stagger these and get paid out by the by the following slate. So it is nice because you have more, almost like more slates. Okay, so how many picks do I get?
Two each.
Two
We have
each.
a ton to choose from.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the early morning
You
ones.
gonna go with these guys?
Yeah.
What do you
So
got?
Bird from Sky, I would say over,
Okay,
and then Shui over as well because I don't
cool.
know, I haven't
I'm
heard of
not
the
too
team.
familiar with those guys.
Oh, Shui's good.
All right,
Very
so
consistent.
for me, I'm gonna go my first one. Flit versus Mad Lions. I'm gonna go under. 40 and a
Ooh,
half in two maps is very difficult to do.
for anybody.
So I'm gonna go under on Flit. I don't know really much of the new Mad Lions roster, to be perfectly honest. But 40 and a half is tough to do. Now, he could get there, especially after the run they just had, but 40 and a half is just a tough number to hit. Um, Madden, 36 and a half. Like I said, I got a good gut feeling on what FPX can do against Big. I'll take the over on Madden at 36 and a half. And like
Dude, you gotta go with Neil. Then go back to Nealon on the
Nealand's
30.
33 and a half versus the Young Ninjas.
Yeah, he can do that. I gotta take another one. So that's
Taking an over?
definitely the yeah.
I'll take another one over here. And this one sticks out to me. Ty, your boy BMass,
Oh yeah, look at that.
32 and a half versus
Little Mix. That's not even
Little
the.
Mix. Mouse
Hey,
Sports
is
is
that their?
playing, must be playing twice then on this slate. Let's go to
Which one is
matches.
first?
Uh,
Sorry, I'm like talking
G2.
over you.
Yes, they are. Oh, it's a qualifier. So it's the Flashpoint 3 closed qualifier. Mouse Sports versus Limix.
Oh my god, they're gonna crush them.
Where's my prize picks tab at? Yeah,
Hopefully they get enough rounds though.
we're gonna we're gonna take BMAS and we're just gonna smash the over.
Go for it. Yeah,
Smash
go
the
for it.
over. And that's gonna do it for our prize pick segment. Dan, any final thoughts on this slate before we get out of here?
Dude, I am so excited for tomorrow because it just seems like we've had such a drought, and then
We
these two
have, and I mean
games.
typically, like I said, we're coming up on an hour here on the podcast. Typically, we don't want to be this long, but it's a 4 game slate. All of these 4 games can go either way. I mean, Ty even said it in the main event Discord earlier, or someone did. Shout out to whoever said it, but any one of these 8 teams can win. So we
Yeah,
needed to
definitely.
spend some time, and we thank you all for listening here to the end of the podcast. Follow Dan on Twitter at Wandelch, WANDELCH. You can follow me on Twitter at AdamWX21. Shout out to all of you that have followed me on Twitter. Big shout out. And yeah, we thank you for tuning in here to the podcast. Again, 4 game slate. There was a lot to break down. So hopefully this has been fun, been some comedy in it. Hopefully we've given you some good analysis, and hopefully we learned a little something too from those double winning lineups. So for Dan, I'm Adam. Latest peoples.